Right guys, I want to talk about something today that's, I know it's been quite a big part of my life. I've been a father for the best part of 25 years now. And this is a subject I've come up against myself in various different forms. I know a lot of friends have, I know a lot of guys go through this. So this isn't picking bones with men versus women, because I know there's bad people of both sexes and etc, etc. But I've just got to talk about this subject where, now this isn't all mums obviously, this is just a select few of some mums tend to use children in a way which I believe is super unhealthy, and it really gets under my skin. So what I'm talking about is manipulating men to get a result that you want of some form, punishing men by stopping them from seeing their children, using children as messengers to pass, you know, tell your mum this, tell your dad that, this kind of thing. So I've seen a lot of good guys put through a lot of shit that they don't need to be put through, and not only is it damaging for the men massively, it's also extremely damaging for the children. And I feel like this subject needs talking about, because we talk about all the different forms of, you know, alienation, manipulation, etc. that I've experienced myself or I've seen friends go through. It's quite common, and I think it just needs to stop. I mean, I don't know if the type of women, not all women are like this, I know there's a lot of women out there that are not, but it needs talking about, because there's this minority group of women that tend to do it, and it's right across the board. I've seen friends of all ages go through the same thing, you know. So starting off with stopping the dad from seeing the child. So this is the number one thing. I see a lot of women using it as a way to be spiteful. I think there's no other way of putting it, to be childish and spiteful, possibly be on some kind of power trip. Somehow they think they've got the right, some women, and I say some, because I'm honestly not saying all women are like this, stopping a decent father, and I'm talking about decent fathers here, it's a completely different subject if, you know, a parent, either man or woman, is a safeguarding issue, is an alcoholic, a druggie, violent, all that stuff. This is not relating to that. This is talking about the average decent guy that just wants to be a good father. It's just got to fucking stop. There's women out there who will just stop the dad from seeing the kid just because they want to be spiteful, or just because they want to be childish, or just because they want to manipulate you into behaving a certain way in order to see your child. Like, you've got to do this and stop doing that and blah, blah, blah. And no, I mean, if there's no safeguarding issues and they're a good dad, you've got absolutely no right, as a man or a woman, to stop the other parent seeing a child. It's just, I don't know why some people can't get their heads around it, that it's scummy. It's just such a low thing to do. I've been through it myself. I'm currently going through it myself for, like, not the first time. And I've got a lot of experience in it, you know, that's why I want to talk about it. My oldest kid's 25, and his mum tried stopping me seeing him for no reason. I wasn't a drunk, I wasn't a druggie, I wasn't violent. There's absolutely no reason, and she made my life hell to see my own child. I just wanted to see him regularly. That was it when we broke up. So I've been through it multiple times, different types of scenarios where, you know, and it's not always just about the mums stopping the dad, or even occasionally a dad stopping a mum. If they're a decent person, they just want to see their kids, that you've got no right as a human being to stop the other parent seeing a child. So it's just scummy, and it's got to stop. Like, and I feel like people need to speak out about that. There's more than just stopping parents from seeing children that actually gets right under my skin. There's other things like using a child as a messenger. You know, when children are a little bit older, I'll tell your dad mum said this, or tell your mum, dad, you know, don't fucking use your kids as messengers. They don't need to feel the fucking pressure of being stuck in the middle with two parents with two different opinions. It's quite common nowadays that parents break up, and it happens, but people have got to stop using a child as a weapon. That is the bottom line. There's so much of it goes on, and I just think you're a complete scumbag if you use a kid to get at another human being. Is just scummy. You're causing resentment from the father to make it more difficult. It's just an endless thing, and anything that happens to a child in its early years, it's going to affect it as an adult. So if you're just fucking around playing games, it's not going to be good for your child. I just don't see why someone would do that. It's just wrong. The other thing that I would say is when parents are slagging off another parent to a child. I don't believe in that either. I can have opinions about someone I've got a baby with. You can have your own opinions about someone you've got a baby with. Don't share that with your children. Your children will grow up to see, and I've seen this firsthand. I've got children that are 25 now, so I've seen it firsthand. I've been there where a parent's saying really spiteful things about the other parent to the child. And it's just really damaging. It doesn't do any good, because I've been here for 2.5 decades with children, and I've seen that the children grow up, and 9 times out of 10 they get to know a parent for what they're really like. If they're a good person, the child will see that. So the toxic parent who's calling, you know, whatever names, saying this and that, trying to turn a child against their own parent, you know, it's really scummy. One of the other things is parents trying to turn children against their own parents. Children need both parents at the end of the day. Regardless if you get on, if you don't get on, you shouldn't be blocking access, you shouldn't be blocking, you know, communication regarding the child. Both parents, this is the other thing, both parents have got an equal right to a child. And sometimes some parents think they've got the power to, I don't know if it's like a power trip. I can't get quite into the mentality of it. I can only go by observations, really, because I'm not scummy myself. And I, you know, even when I've been with somebody that I'm not particularly fond of, I will wait until the child's older and tell me, I think mum or I think dad's like this, you know, and I can respond as an adult at that point when they've come to their own conclusions. It goes the whole way through, from baby all the way through to the kids who are older, in my experience. You know, you've got the tail end of it where you've got sometimes childish, toxic mothers that just want to block you just to be spiteful, to hurt you. Not only that, I mean, I've never quite been at that level myself. It is damaging, it's hurtful when you want to see your child and you've got a mum stopping you. But I know for a fact there's guys out there that I know that have been pretty much suicidal because all they want to do is see their kid, and it fucking breaks my heart. And honestly, I think children should be taken off the parents if they do that, because it's just so toxic. It's really wrong, you know. If a man or a woman is posing safeguarding issues, they're violent, they're in some way genuinely damaging, then by all means go to court, get a court order. But if you're a decent fucking human being that just wants to see your kid, enough's enough. This needs to stop. Obviously, I've already done a video, some of you might already know. I'll put the thumbnail up now. From what I understand, I think I'm currently having my 4th child at the time of making this video, in the next week or 2. The mother's completely blocked me. Apart from swearing at her once in the text when we broke up, for good reason. This is the thing, I don't think I'd ever call anyone any names. You've really got to do something pretty shitty for me to, I'm not the sort of person, you know, I'm capable of calling someone names when I've been hurt, but trust me, it don't happen a lot, and you've got to have done something pretty freaking low to push them buttons in me. Yeah, and as I said, at the time of making this video, there's a girl who I believe is having my child. I'm not absolutely certain, obviously you can't be, but she's blocked me. I've, you know, not said anything to her. The last thing I said was I'm glad the baby's okay, not posed any violence. In the past 9 months, I've spent hundreds of pounds in solicitors' letters just during the pregnancy. I've just had games of blocking me, unblocking me, blocking me again. I've spent hundreds of pounds, flipping sent dozens of texts expressing that I want to be there for the kid, I want to be a part of the experience of the birth, of yada yada yada. I want the, you know, the whole thing. I want to arrange everything. Apparently it's impossible to let me know what involvement I can have before the baby's born, which sounds absolutely ludicrous to me. I've sent detailed solicitors' letters. I've spent a lot of time and energy. I can't make it any clearer, really. This video is going up and it's staying up because if this child turns out to be mine, it's going to know that I wanted to be there, and I fought and I did everything. If you're going to be toxic and childish and petty and try and be spiteful just to hurt and block for no good reason, other than being called out on being a nasty person to your previous partner, then yeah. Now, I know this isn't exclusive to women's behaviour. I know men can do it too. It's a lot more common because in breakups, the majority of the time the kid can end up with the mum and then the whole dad trying to see it situation. I personally have been a single house dad and pretty much raised 2 of my kids on my own full time, so it's not always that way round. But yeah, just wanted a quick one today, guys. Just enough's enough. Be a nice person. Don't take your, you know, if you've got a grievance with an ex-partner, don't take it out through the children and stopping access as a weapon. It's just really scummy, it's really low. For men and women, if it is flipped around the other way, this isn't a dig just at women. Let us know in the comments, guys, what you think about this whole kind of experience, your experiences yourself, your thoughts on why people do this kind of thing. And speak to you in a video soon. Take it easy.